Hello, everyone. In today's episode, I'm joined with Ellie, and Ellie has autism. And in today's episode, what we're going to be speaking about autism and wonderful things that Ellie does to raise awareness and the great videos on social media. So, Ellie, thank you for coming on today.
Hello everyone, my name is Ellie, I'm 18, I live in Sunderland and I go to Springboard College.
Yeah, yeah. It's like with everywhere we maybe start on school life, I suppose, but like before college, like how was that for you, Ellie? Like in school, like with autism as well.
Uh, so, um, Believe it or not, I never actually used to be this open about my autism. I was never ashamed of my autism, but I knew there was a very negative stigma around it. Weren't always very nice towards people with disabilities. I did use the word autism as an insult a lot. Starting secondary school as an 11-year-old, I knew I was autistic, but I didn't really know much about my disability. It wasn't until I was around about 12, 13 where I started educating myself about my disability. It wasn't until I actually left school where I sort of had the confidence to be so open about my autism and speak about it online, um, such as TikTok and Instagram. I sort of gained the confidence to be open about my autism by watching other people online be so open about it on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, and I sort of realized you're always really going to get ignorant people, and this is who I am, and who knows, by speaking about it, I could actually help someone. So,
Yeah, I think the good thing is about it is like you don't know who you're helping. And
yeah.
don't you think it's a nice feeling when if someone like reaches out to you and say like they really like your videos or all the stuff you're doing to raise awareness, and it kind of makes you feel better, doesn't it? Like as well.
Yeah, it does. I've definitely got a lot of lovely messages on TikTok from a lot of people saying I've helped them feel more accepting towards themselves. I've helped people get a diagnosis. I've helped parents understand their kids better. And that's insane. Like what doing 3 minute speaking videos on TikTok can do for some people.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people use TikTok, so it helps quite a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I actually posted on Instagram. I got the person's permission to share the story, but someone was actually considering taking their own life, and they said that they came across my content and that made them not decide to not do that. And I just thought, imagine having that impact on someone, and like I let the person know that, like if you ever need anyone to speak to, I'm always here. It's just kind of sad, that like some people feel that low on themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I can understand why they would
Yeah.
feel like that because
Mhm.
like you do like for lots of different reasons as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good that they reached out to you, but it must have been quite of like maybe like what was happening for them. It's not nice to feel like that, and yeah, it's good job. It's good for you.
Definitely. Yeah, I did let him know, like I gave him my number. I said he can speak to me whenever he wants, because I know it's important to have someone to speak to, especially if you are feeling that low in yourself. So
Yeah, yeah, it is, and like that's why like you raise awareness, isn't it? Like for
yeah.
people like that, and like saving them as well, because if they didn't scroll maybe across your content, maybe it's something worse that could have happened. So um, it's good that you're doing this as well for to help people like that.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely think the older you get, the more you become more accepting of your autism. It's understandable how you can sort of see it as a hindrance as you're younger. And sort of the realization that the world around you isn't really created for different types of people. Just yeah, and just I just want to help people like me feel more confident in themselves and accepting towards themselves and understand that being different is okay. The world needs different.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we don't want to be the same, do we?
no, that's the thing. I mean, to be honest, normal isn't. I hate that word normal. It's not really a thing, is it? If you think about it,
No one's normal.
especially not especially not nowadays. Who wants to be
No,
normal?
no, we want to be all different.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like a lot of very successful people out there were autistic as well. So we wouldn't have probably some of the fancy technology. I probably wouldn't be able to be speaking to you right now if it wasn't for autistic people. So
Yeah, yeah, like you have some really good people like who have autism out there, and you have more people speaking about it. Like last few years, you've had, I think,
yeah,
like show stars, like you got I think Anne Hegarty from the Chase, who is a
yeah.
chaser.
I was about to mention Anne Hegarty. She wasn't actually diagnosed until she was 45. And I can't imagine going 45 years of my life not understanding why I was different. I actually saw her in an interview once where she spoke about like when she was young, she was always taken to psychiatrists and stuff, and she spoke about how she felt like she was different from other people. And it wasn't until she watched a program about autism where she came to the realization that she was on the spectrum, and then she actually went and got a diagnosis. So
Yeah, and yeah, it's good that she even spoke out about it because she's a quite high profile person, and I can imagine there probably
yeah,
was hate as along with nice comments as well. So
yeah.
yeah,
She often talks about how her autism helps her like with her knowledge of facts, which is how she became like on the chase in the first place.
yeah,
So she's also quite straightforward. She's a very honest person, which I like that. A lot of us on the spectrum can be quite honest people. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's always good to
Mhm.
be honest. Like it's the best way to be.
Yeah. You have to be careful sometimes though. Not everybody likes honesty.
No,
So
yeah, like just be honest. Though, like if you've forgotten to do work, well, we might lie about that. Like
yeah.
if you got some homework to do at college, or and you say, oh, I couldn't do it. Or yeah, but yeah, like I love seeing all these different people now. You've got like
uh,
it's really nice.
I don't know if you've heard of Dan Aykroyd. He was in Ghostbusters. He's on the spectrum.
Oh, I didn't hear. No, funny enough, I haven't watched the new Ghost, but like films, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's great.
I don't know if you heard of the rapper Eminem. He's apparently on the spectrum. I'm trying to think of some more famous people. There's a
Um,
lot. I can't think off the top of my head.
I know if in a show called Prison Break, the main actor
Yeah.
in that show, Wentworth Miller, is autistic.
Yep.
In that show, um, which I yeah, that was only quite recently. I think it might have been last year or the year before. He actually came out and said he was autistic. Um,
Yeah. A lot of the autistic community, and I agree with this to be honest, think that it should be actually autistic people playing autistic roles. Because no one can really play an autistic character better than an actually autistic person because we're the ones that live with it every day. So, and I sort of agree with that to some extent, definitely.
yeah,
There are autistic actors out there as well. So,
yeah. I suppose it can offend maybe autistic people if
yeah,
an actor is portraying an autistic person when they're not actually autistic. Um, so I have actually spoken to a fair few actors who are autistic, and they some it kind of depends, I suppose. Like if an actor is good at playing an autism person, like you have autism shows, like now
yeah,
you are on like you have some on Netflix, and stuff like that. So it is I suppose you don't
yeah.
know.
I was gonna ask, like, what your thoughts were on Atypical, like, if you've seen the show. I've
Yeah.
seen all of them. I've seen all 4 seasons. I just want to know what your thoughts were about it.
Um, I haven't seen all four, but I have watched a fair few episodes. Like I think I've watched about
Yeah,
2 seasons. I might be on the
yeah,
third one, and I'm not sure. Like, is the main character autistic? Do you know, like himself?
yeah. It is. It's about a teenage boy who's on the spectrum, and his therapist thinks he should start dating, like getting out there, sort of thing. He ends up having a crush on his therapist. It's really funny. His special interest is penguins throughout the entire thing. All he does is talk about penguins.
Yeah, yeah,
He's quite stereotyped, like the math and science nerd sort of thing. He like it showcases how he doesn't really understand social cues, how he takes everything quite literally, sort of thing. So I don't think the actor's autistic, but I feel like he did an all right job at that role.
yeah,
I just personally thought the show was a bit stereotypical.
yeah. I agree. It's not the best show, like really, to
Yeah.
watch. I think, like I say, I got probably one of the reasons I stopped because like people have been really mean to him, and yeah, like some people were not like with autism. Yeah, it's very like against it. I felt, but yeah, like it was it's a kind of show that takes time to, I suppose, to understand as well.
Definitely. I'm not sure if you've seen the show The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
The actors have, I mean, like the show's confirmed that Sheldon isn't on the spectrum, but I don't, and like some of the community is a little bit iffy because a lot of people believe he isn't. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's quite obvious that he is, in my opinion. He
Yeah.
doesn't. He's quite intelligent. He doesn't really seem to understand social cues. He wears like the same kinds of clothes every day. He has the knock-in ritual. Like he'll only sit like on a certain side of the couch. Like I also think Amy. I think Amy. There's a few autism traits in Amy as well. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I watched that. Like, I didn't watch all the series because there's so many of them.
Yeah,
um,
there's like 12 seasons.
yeah, yeah. I kind of stopped at one point because it kind of get a bit of like the same.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
like
understand what you mean.
just similar. Like it's going on. Like you kind of feel like is one of the boys gonna go with the girl who
Yeah,
living across the road, and that gets annoying to one point when it doesn't happen. Well, it didn't happen as long as I watched it, and then you could
yeah,
tell one of them fancied her, and they weren't saying
yeah.
nothing, and it get irritating a little bit, like watching that. Um,
I think like because they're supposed to be a group of nerds, they're supposed to be a group of scientists. I think that's kind of to show that like like the socially awkward nerd who's too scared to speak to the girl. It's like a stereotype sort of thing, really.
yeah, yeah, but it was quite funny though. Like the show,
Yeah,
better than a typical.
atypical.
Yeah, I, I liked it better than that. Like you've got like the thing, like about the issue undateables. What I don't like about that is
I've
it's
seen
called
that, yeah.
undate. Like that, I'm thinking that they can't.
Yeah, they're saying they're undateable, yeah, definitely. And most of the guests that are on there are on the autism spectrum, and I think it's not really very nice to call them why couldn't they have just said like autistics go dating or something? Like I don't know.
Hmm,
It's a bit offensive to call them undateable just because they have a disability. I'm not sure if you saw Love on the Spectrum. That's on
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah, I've seen
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's all around bad, but like there is person first language, person with autism. Like I don't really mind that personally, but a lot of the community think that if you say person with autism, you're speaking about autism as though it's like a separate thing,
Hmm.
whereas like you are autistic, like you aren't. It doesn't really bother me personally, but I'm just like explaining. Like they use a lot of person first language that sort of speak about the autistic adults as if like they're not adults, as if they're not really actually in the room. They also put them in very compromising situations where like they could have a meltdown or like a
Hmm.
shutdown or an overload. It's not like the environment isn't very autism friendly, I've heard apparently. So
Yeah, I think like they make these shows just because they feel they can't go on a normal dating show, like
yeah,
not like those kind of ones. But they shouldn't, like it's kind of demanding the name, like saying on dateable. What be the
yeah.
point of going on a show that says on dateable? Like it's not very nice,
I
and yeah,
I also think it's kind of for neurotypical people to laugh at as well though at the same time.
yeah,
With with Love on the Spectrum, they showcase a lot of their special interests, the things that they're very good about. But it's also like, oh, here's what they're good at, but like here's like the very autistic things about them, and I hate that ideology so much.
Yeah. Have you seen a show called the A Word?
I haven't, but my mum has watched it. It's about a little boy who's been diagnosed with
Mm.
autism, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm not sure if he's actually autistic himself, but I think that is one of the best autism ones. Because it is very relatable to maybe people that are more severe as well.
Yeah,
So and they don't accept it at first, but it's one of the better shows or series I think for autism.
definitely. I don't know much about it. I know my mum used to watch it, and I remember it was about a little boy with autism, or he'd just been diagnosed with autism, and the parents were sort of coming to terms with what he'd been diagnosed with.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's good when you have all these shows, but yeah, it would be better if like you do have actors that have autism themselves.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of actors that are on the spectrum, and if you're autistic and you mask, I don't know if you know much about masking.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I do.
we 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 basically mask in our everyday lives, like we act, we put on a front, so we would be good actors. So it seems like a good job role that an autistic person would do. So
Yeah, yeah. Like I think actually, there's an actor in Emmerdale. I don't watch Emmerdale like all the soaps. I stopped watching them years ago, but I know that there's
I
an actor in there who might have autism. Um,
I think it might have been EastEnders. Are you talking
I,
about a little boy?
no, it's
Not a little boy.
it's an actor in Emmerdale who looks quite, I suppose, like severe, but I'm not sure if it is autism. But like it's good that Emmerdale or any soaps have people that are on the spectrum or and stuff. I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen Hollyoaks at all. That's a soap, Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
There's actually I think she's a teenager, maybe. She looks around about my age. She's an actually autistic girl who's playing an autistic actor called Brooke Hathaway. That's her character. She definitely portrays autism very well because obviously she lives with autism in her everyday life. She talks a lot how she doesn't really understand social cues, how certain noises irritate her and stuff, and I think she does a very good job with that character. So
Yeah, it's nice when you have this sort. Like I know when we were probably younger, there wasn't any of this about. It's only like quite recent, like last 2 years I'd say, or um that more is coming about autism and people more speak about.
definitely. Yeah, a lot of people say that autism is getting like very common now. A lot of people think, oh, it's trendy to be autistic. I don't think it's becoming more common. I think it's becoming more recognized because like a lot of people like who are over the age of like 50 will say, well, it wasn't a thing in my day, but the thing is it was. Autism's been here since the very beginning, but it's like it's starting to become a recognized thing now. More and more people are starting to understand. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's hard when you two are supposed to explain it to someone that doesn't know what autism is. Um,
yeah.
and you explain it to them and they'll probably agree with what you're saying, but it won't all go in that really. So you kind of have to go on at people to understand, make them understand it.
Yeah, I get told off my family like Ellie, like we know you're very autism smart and you know a lot about autism, but like I'm autism out today. Like just stop. I do talk about it a lot, so
Yeah, it needs to be a subject, doesn't it?
yeah. But I think when you're autistic and you have a special interest, like you just non-stop go on about it and you don't know when to stop.
Yeah, there's so
So
much to talk about, isn't there, about autism?
yeah,
Yeah, it's not just like one certain thing. Like you have stimming, sensory, high functioning, low functioning. And there's so many different topics you can talk about. Yeah. Like how are you with noise? With your autism?
so when I was younger, I used to, do you know hand dryers?
Yeah.
Well, of course you know what a hand dryer
Yeah. Yeah.
is. Um, my God. Handra, I used to be terrified of. I used to hate the noise. Like in public, I would like put my hand under and then I would run away when I was a kid. If I was gonna wash my hands, I would just use toilet paper. I hated the sound of hand. I don't mind them now, but when I was younger, I couldn't stand the noise. It was the same with hair dryers. I use hair dryers now. They don't really bother me anymore, but when I was younger, I couldn't stand the sound. Um, and I know another like I'm trying to think. Do you know when a car like beeps or like when
Yeah.
someone's? I hate the sound of beeping. Um, I don't like the sound of when someone's on a motorbike and they start revving.
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of that. Just what I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh,
Um, I have a lot of sensory issues regarding like tags. I hate tags. If I have tags on my clothes, I have to cut them off. Otherwise, I find them quite uncomfortable. The smell of food when it's being cooked, like I can't stand that. If my like, it's mainly if my mum's cooking like an English breakfast. Like I can't stand the smell of that. So I don't know.
yeah.
Slime is a massive sensory trigger for me. I hate slime. The way it looks, the way it smells, the feel of it. Oh, I hate it so much. And slime was actually a trend back in like 2017 or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I remember at school everyone was playing it like with slime
Yeah,
and stuff, and I was thinking, oh.
definitely. Yeah. I don't mind Play-Doh. It's slime I hate. It's
You like
no.
jelly then?
Thing is, I don't. That's another sensory trigger for me. Like when it comes to food, like at school for dessert, like primary school, if we're having ice cream and jelly, I would just have the ice cream. I hate jelly. I hate the way it feels in my mouth. I don't
Oh,
like it.
I had jelly today for lunch.
Oh, jelly.
Yeah, I didn't used to. Like, it's only quite recently. I've had jelly, and yeah, I like it. I'm quite sensory as well. I don't like noise. But I won't like when someone's eating and making a lot of noise. I won't like that. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's when people cheer loudly. I hate. The thing is, I actually do it as well. Like I don't like it when other people do it, but I also do it, and it's like
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I know. They're thinking, well, you can't say that to me when you're doing it yourself.
Literally, yeah. It's like Ellie, you're so honest and straightforward, but you don't like it when it's done back to you, and it's like it's a toxic trait.
Suppose you can't say anything then.
Yeah. See, this what I'm doing right now with my child, that would probably be considered a stim. The thing is, it's not just autistic people, like everybody stims, like shaking your leg, that's considered a stim, like tapping
Yeah.
your pen, that's a stim. When I was younger, yep. Playing with a fidget toy or looking at something shiny, that's like a visual stim. When I was younger, I used to flap my. I don't do it anymore, but when I was younger, my mum said I used to flap my hands. That's like a very common stim in autism. I have a lava lamp that I like to sit and just stare at. Sometimes I like to have things in my mouth, like chew on things, like pen lids and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of what else I do. Sometimes I'll rub my fingers together.
Yeah.
Um, that's it really. It's all I can really think about.
Yeah.
I
Like,
definitely I do shake my leg a lot. Yeah.
um, I remember in school I used to rock on the chair. I
Yeah, I
just
did that.
rocking and
I used to chew on my sleeves.
yeah, I
Yeah.
used to do that. Mum didn't like it when I was home though. Yeah.
A lot of people like because some autistic people are too like. But what you're doing when you're stimming is like it's what your body does to show that you're happy. Like if you see a kid that's happy, they'll jump up and down. Like it's just regulating your emotions, really. Like a lot of autistics are too nervous to stim in public, but like the autistic community is trying to normalize stimming. So autistic people feel more comfortable to stim in public without being judged by anybody.
Yeah. It's a word which I suppose it's complicated to people that who don't understand the meaning of it, like stimming. Um, because like last few years I kind of recognised what it was. And I've done it lots of times. Like um I'll flick switches on and off a number of times sometimes. Um,
Yeah, a thing is, my OCD, I have to do things. I love even numbers, so I'll check everything on my phone repeatedly, like, and it has to be an even number. and it's the same with if I have like things that are in my coat, like I'll check them like over and over again. I'll turn off light switches on and off. I definitely have a lot of OCD tendencies.
Yeah,
So
I do as well. And like it used to be bad when I was younger. Like I had to be lots of times, but now it's not as
yeah.
much.
I used to line my toys up when I was a kid. That's a very common like autistic thing. I know.
Yeah, I did as well. I had the mat, like the car mat, and
Yeah.
then lining everything
Mhm.
up and stuff.
Now,
Yeah,
now I just do that with my makeup and stuff. I still do it. I still line my stuff up just with my makeup and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. It has to be. Is it a line? Like you have to put it on a long line.
I do put it in a line sometimes, yeah. Like sometimes I'll have it all out in a certain order, like in a line near where my computer set is.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Is there like a certain time of the day where you say, I'm gonna go off my phone now? Or should you do anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, definitely. I don't know if this is like with my autism, but sometimes I'll only do things at a certain time. Like I'll try and put myself to bed at a certain time. I'll try and get up at a certain time. Like I find comfort out of doing like the same things every day sort of thing. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a bad thing. Like, I've in the past, like, I decided I'm gonna go on my phone for a few hours, and then I know I've probably a lot of notifications when I'm back on it, and then I suppose that can be stressful, like just responding to people sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes I want to be nice, but I sometimes can't be bothered to reply to every single comment. So I'm just like, oh, I'll do it later.
Yeah, you could just put one big comment saying thank you all, and then you have to go and like
Yeah.
everyone.
Thanks everybody. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
thank you for your support.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Another special interest of mine when I was younger was definitely video games. You know the app Temple Run. Like
yeah,
on the leaderboard, I actually came fourth in Sunderland when I was like 9, and I just
that's
think
great.
I'm 9 years old. How am I fourth in the world? I'm obsessed with the game Subway Surfers at the minute. I got 7 million. I was very proud of myself.
Well, that's very good. Um, like,
I know that
yeah.
there's definitely a link of video games and autism. Autistic people like video games.
Yeah,
It's like the link there.
yeah. I have Temple Run, but I haven't really played much now. Like
Yeah,
at the minute, I'm playing this basketball game where you just put on the hoop, see how high you can get, and
yeah.
and then yeah, I've got a pretty high score. But yeah, it's nice once you've beaten your high score and then you think, yeah, I've beaten it now.
Yeah, like I was obsessed with it. Was definitely one of my special interests when I was a kid. Like I would just block everything out. If we're at family parties, I wasn't very sociable when I was younger. So I would just block everybody out, put my headphones on and play Temple Run all day. So
Yeah, it's a very good game. Like I think Temple Run 2 is I had Temple Run, and I don't know if there's a Temple Run 3, but like
I'm not sure. I know there is. I've played the second one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good game. Like when someone mentions me, I thought, oh, that's pretty good. But you've got to be really concentrated for a long period of time because I'm my ache as well if you're doing it on your phone. Um, so yeah, it has to be. You've got to be really concentrated, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. Getting back to what you said about background noise, I'm not sure if this is like something that you maybe struggle with, but if I'm having a conversation with somebody and see if the TV is on in the background, like I'll ask someone if they can turn it down because I can't always filter out background noise when I'm trying to speak to somebody. Like say if I was talking to you now and my door was like opening and closing, like I wouldn't be able to concentrate on what you were saying because of the door.
No, cool.
Um, I have a hard time filtering out background noise. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That that's the same with me. Like before, like I do a podcast, I'll say, no noise, no noise, Teddy down, because everyone's watching the news in a minute. But yeah, it's I'm the same. But although like people might say like because I like going to like football matches and and stuff, they'll say, how come you like football, loud noise like that, and you don't like other certain noise?
Yeah, it's a hard time sometimes trying to get certain people to understand. It's like, well, thing is, you don't have my brain, do you? So all I can do is just try, and you're not really gonna know what it's like, but I can try and educate you about it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's the best thing you can do is just try and educate other people about your experience, and then you most likely will get someone else that has a similar experience to you. Hopefully.
yeah, I mean, going back to the word normal, I already told you I hate the word normal because it's not really a thing. But I think when it comes to autism, you can look completely like normal on the outside, but on the inside, you're so different. And it's, yeah. Because yeah, from the outside looking in, you just look like an ordinary person, but on the inside, you can be so different, and it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because you have high function and you have low functioning, and the people that look maybe more severe, like people might say they're autistic or have, but it's hard. It's harder, I suppose, to do things. It's really hard for low functioning and high functioning people because everyone has their difficulties and their strengths.
Everyone does have their difficulties and their strengths, definitely. A lot of people think when they meet me that I'm going to be some sort of crazy math genius. When I tell people I'm not good at math, they're like, "What? But you're autistic." And I'm like, "Not every single person is amazing at maths." Like,
No,
sorry,
no.
sorry to break that stereotype for you.
Yeah, like for example, like with you can go to also the more it goes into your hobbies, I find like if you're interested in one
Definitely.
thing, you'll kind of continue being interested in that one thing, and then you'll be
Yeah.
really good on that. It's like you just practice something and you keep on doing that.
I definitely think intelligence on the autism spectrum, a lot of it comes from being very, very, very interested in things. It comes from special interests because we get so obsessed and hyperfixated on something to the point where we know every little thing about it, and it's mad. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. It could even be autism.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean that people that autistic people that are very good at maths, that could be their special interest, but personally I find maths very boring. So I'm sorry to break that stereotype for
Um,
you.
yeah. What do you think about learning algebra?
Oh, I mean, I basic algebra, that's fine, but non-basic algebra, difficult algebra, no thank you.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like,
It
like,
is, yes.
like maths in a whole, it's hard, and you kind of have to practice, don't you? Yeah. Um.
Yeah, I'm 18. I'm still trying to pass maths, so
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Like I think English is, I suppose, easier. I find.
yeah, see, it's funny because I'm actually much better at English than I am at maths. But teachers always said to my mum that like it's more common for autistic children to be better at maths than they are at English.
Yeah.
But Ellie, for some reason, is better at English than she is at maths. And I'm like, okay, so I've broke the stereotype. I'm so sorry. I've let down autism. I'm shit at maths. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, English is better for you when you're doing your TikToks and you're writing it all down. Like if you're writing it on the post, so it's better.
I'm quite imaginative, I would say. Like, I think yeah, definitely. I was very good at English when I was in primary school. I think my year five teacher said to my mum that she thought I was going to be an author or something. Like, I don't know.
You still might be.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, I mean, because I struggled a lot making friends younger, like, I used to love writing my own stories. Like, I used to love coming home from school and, like, writing stories in my notebook and stuff. Just, yeah. I used to write, like, kid stories and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice to have a book of your own, wouldn't it? Like just telling a story in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's hard work though. Takes a long time, I think, just to create a book.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I had any friends anyway, so I was just writing away.
Yeah. Yeah. You just you can do it. Yeah. It's hard. It is hard at first to make friends, isn't it? Like um, if you have autism or not. Like say you're going to a new school to start, and then yeah, it's pretty tough just to get engaged with conversations when I suppose you're new and they don't really engage with that because they don't want to. They personally
I
wouldn't
think
know what to say.
yeah, I think like the problem with me is like because I just look like an ordinary teenager, like people just approach me, but I don't have the same interests that everybody else does. So like that's why I sort of have a hard time trying to like connect to people sort of thing. And I'm a very straightforward, honest person, and I'll sometimes say the wrong thing, and that gets me in heated arguments with people. And when I do bring up my autism, people think I'm sort of using that as an excuse. But no, I'm not. I'm just trying to educate people.
Yeah, that's the best way to be. Like, there's always going to be those people that like think that, and like if you're gonna put like okay, they call a so-called autism card, but you're doing it because you want people to understand, and it's very good when you get a diagnosis of autism because there's lots of things that can help you as well, and you get that maybe extra support you may need, if it's
Yeah,
maths, for example, that you may need to have a little bit more support than maybe some other people in the class, which is fine.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I'm not the brightest of maths either, but but as long as you know, I suppose, are the basics, and that's what we have a calculator for.
Yeah,
um,
you
but
can't always use a calculator on exams,
um,
unfortunately, though. So
although there is a calculator papers.
yeah,
uh,
it's calculated paper or non-calculated
uh,
paper.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah. Even though calculator papers can be a bit tough, like depending on like how you get to use your calculator and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do
definitely.
do you like? It's hard, isn't it? Like because when you're at school, you always get told, don't you, Ellie, that what's your what do you want to do as a job, and you kind of think to yourself, hang on a minute, I'm in school, I'm
Yeah,
not there yet.
I'm a kid. What do you mean? I don't know. Like, I mean, when you're a kid, all you really care about is going home and like playing out with your friends. You have no idea what you want to do when you're out in the big bad world. So.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas like what you would want to do at all?
On Since I was like 13, I think the autism, like just having a career in autism, it's what I've wanted to do since I was like very young. So
Yeah.
definitely,
I
there's
think
not a lot of people. There's not a lot of people my age can really say they know what they want to do in life. So
yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. It's good because like people already like are seeing your stuff like from what you're doing. So that's a good start. And then like if you want to be a teacher maybe in a school that has people with autism, or there's so many different career things you can do with autism. That's the amazing thing. If you want to be a person that works for an autism charity, maybe that's
yeah,
maybe and then yeah, there's so many different things that you can do.
yeah, and I think if I was to maybe work with autistic people, they always ask, "What experience do you have in regards to autism?" I'd be like, "Well, I live with it. I live with it every day." So I
Yeah,
feel like that will be a comfort thing as well because the kids will think, "Oh, Ellie's just like me," so they might confide in me a bit more. So I don't know.
yeah, I think that's great. Like it's more understanding, and I know what I want to do is like football coaching and stuff, and teaching other people that have autism that they can still do what they want because I'll be teaching them being autistic. So it kind of
Yeah,
it says like I'd like to go back to my old school and like just teach like kids and sports and stuff, um,
yeah,
because it's nice when you have a job what you like doing. It kind of don't feel like a job, does it? Really?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But autism, there's so many. It's a very good community. I find not just on TikTok, just in a whole,
Yeah.
like so many good people.
I always think it's an important thing because there was a lot of times at school where, see, if I got a new teacher, my mum would come in and explain. It was mainly primary school where she'd be like, "This is Ellie. Ellie's on the spectrum," They'd be like, "Oh, I've had autistic kids before, it's fine." But then my mum would be like, "But they're not all the same. You might have had an autistic in your class who could be Ellie could be completely different." I definitely think it's important for, and especially teachers, to understand that autism is a spectrum. If you've met one person with autism, you've met one, another could be completely different. But we all sort of have little similarities that sort of like build the spectrum in the first place. And obviously, everyone has different support needs as well. So,
Yeah, yeah, because I like at school, I used to not be like truthful. Um,
mhm.
if I needed help, and other people were doing okay in the class, I wouldn't say I
Yeah.
needed help.
I was exactly the same. So this is sort of where my anxiety kicked in when I was at school because if I was struggling or I needed something to be explained like in a different way in order for me to understand, because see that's what like autism, it's not necessarily a learning disability, but obviously because our brains are wired different, we're not going to learn the same way as everybody else does. And if we need a little bit of extra time or someone to come over, but for me, it was the fear of like looking different as well or standing out, or I didn't want people to think I was stupid. I was definitely too afraid to put my hand up and ask for help and stuff. And it's the fear of like, if like the teacher picks on you and you don't know the answer, you're scared in case the whole class laughs at you. It's like it's awful.
Yeah, it is. It's not nice. Like when teachers do that, or like I ask you, knowing that you probably possibly don't know the answer. Um,
Yeah, I feel like teachers definitely do pick on the shy kids as well, and it's not really fair.
yeah, they do, don't they? Like that they choose the people maybe not really engaging in the class, and they feel
Yeah, who want that confidence.
yeah, and they think like I'll pick on you because you're not saying anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Um.
But I do find it funny when a teacher picks on a kid because they think that the kid's like not paying attention and the kid gets the answer right. And it's like,
Yeah, that's quite funny.
hey, I was listening.
Yeah, because they might be just writing on on their piece of paper, when you're not
Yeah.
supposed to be, and I think, oh, yeah, what's the answer then? And then you get even I've done that before. Like maybe I haven't been the most paying attention type of person, because like for example, for me with my autism, if we're reading a book, the whole class is reading a book together. I won't be with it. I'll be thinking of other things I want to do after school or something like that. um,
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to get lost off a lot when the class was reading a story and we're supposed to be following along with our finger.
yeah, and then when you do the afterward questions, I'll just go back because normally on the question it will say between pages 2 and 8 or something like that, and then I'll just quick read through it and I'll get the answer. But yeah, I wasn't one great to pay attention and really like if someone's reading it to me, it's not really interesting. I find.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. So you've got to make it interesting, really, though, don't you? So
Yeah, because like teachers, it's all boring to me. Like they say
yeah,
it's very
I,
slow.
I was actually saying to my mum the other day, you like, see if you were in primary school and you were learning your basics, say you were learning fractions, why don't they bring in like an actual cake or an actual pizza and be like, if you can tell me what half of this pizza is, you can have a slice. Like make it interesting sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like, but it's
yeah.
all different now. Like, what if the kids are allergic to whatever? And it's like, oh well.
That could always be sorted. Like it can be anything. Like there's so many different foods out there that you can make into fractions. It don't have to be pizza. It can be chips if you want. Like
Tell me what half of this chip is and you can have it. Like,
yeah, yeah. Like just because like you have pizzas, they always say the pizza, don't they? In maths, they say you have like pizza, like what fraction of this pizza and stuff. But
yeah.
mm, the good thing
I
about
just thought like I always thought it'd be interesting if they brought in an actual pizza and be like, if you can tell me a quarter of this pizza, you can have a slice. Like,
but you know what will be the problem there? Like let's say you're the one who gets that right in the class, and then
mhm.
the other kids will be like, "Where's mine?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then then the teacher says, "No, you didn't get the answer right."
Yeah.
uh, and then I say you keep getting that right, and you're getting the whole pieces yourself, and then, yeah, and then you got everyone else just feeling sad.
Oh well. I remember primary school they'd always hype you up like oh it was like towards the end of the year you would get some fizzy pop and you'd get a pizza and the pizza would be absolutely tiny. And the pop would be like a little tiny bit of pop and like a little plastic cup. And it's like if you behave you can get a pizza and the pizza would be tiny like
Yeah, yeah. Like when I was at school, the school dinners, if I had a school dinner, it'd be very poor, little. I remember that,
yeah.
and like for a roast, I'd get one potato, and a couple of carrots, Yorkshire pudding, some gravy, and like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There was an autistic kid in my school, like because there was a curry and rice station, he used to just get plain rice. I think he got bullied for it, I'm not sure, but he didn't like the curry, he used to just have plain rice on his plate.
yeah. Yeah, like a lot of people don't know if they have like a special like health needs that they need to have just rice. Um, so people can easily get judged.
Yeah, I used to eat the same, like basically the same thing every day, and people thought it was weird, like just try something different. I'm like, no, I'm okay with this. So I'm gonna eat it for 5 years of my secondary school life.
Yeah, if you like something, you can. Um, although it's always nice to try new things, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I know a lot of people with autism can sometimes have sensory issues regarding food. A lot of them will only eat um certain foods. So for me,
Yeah,
my safe foods are definitely yeah, for me, my safe foods are definitely pasta. I will eat anything pasta related. Uh,
pasta's
I love
nice.
pasta. It is.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. Like if you have your, I suppose, a comfort food, like you have it a lot, and um. I did always used to take packed lunch because it's just easier. You don't have to queue up, don't have to wait. Just go, just sit
But
down.
there was a time I got a bit sick of the dinners and I went on on packed lunches. But like in my primary school, you had to actually go up to like the person and show her what you'd ate, and she didn't think you'd ate enough. She would make you sit down and like eat more, which was a bit strange.
Yeah, that's it. Um, Early, but before we finish, like, could you maybe give some maybe advice to like some advice about like having autism and maybe trying to spread that awareness for other people?
My advice would probably be just because you're different, it doesn't make you any less of a person. It's okay to be different. And like you're always going to sort of get ignorant people in life, and unfortunately, that's just a part of life. But yeah, just like be proud of who you are because we wouldn't have some of the amazing things today if it wasn't for people like us. So
Yeah, well,
there we
we
go then.
definitely wouldn't. Um, but thank you, Eddie. It's been really nice chatting to you today, and we'll see everyone in the next episode.
Thank you. It's been nice chatting.